Women in the United States make about 83 cents for every dollar a man makes on average. Now here in Houston, the number's a little bit higher. Women in the city making more than 88 cents to every man's dollar. But hey, there's still a gender pay gap there. And it's an unfair one as well. Recruiting professional Jason Wachtel is here to talk about it and tell us a little more about what employers and job seekers can do to get fair compensation. Jason, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, very important topic. Let's talk a little bit more about what this gender wage gap is all about and obviously why it's a problem.
Sure. Well, in the simplest form, a gender pay gap is when one gender makes more than the other. And as you pointed out, it's been a problem for a long time. But right now, I think it's 84 cents on the dollar, as you mentioned, that men make more than women. But Houston has done a much better job than the average of this country. It's still not where it should be, but at least they're making some progress in getting women equal pay to men.
So, Jason, let's unpack this a little bit. How are the companies in particular affected when their female employees aren't paid fairly?
Well, I think in general, it kills the morale. Whether you're male or female, you should want to have the best people working for you and getting paid equal. And so what's happening now in this new world where people have all this information at their fingertips, you have employers offering hybrid work environments. If women are not getting paid equal to men at their companies, they are looking for other roles, other jobs outside of that organization. So you're having great people leave that organization, which hurts the company, but also kills the morale of individuals at that company because they see really talented people leaving, and it's going to hurt their future and hurt the company's future as well.
Yeah, so in that sense, they're losing talent, and as word gets out, it's going to be a lot tougher to attract talent. Jason, do you have any sense as to why Houston's a little bit further ahead than some other cities and places?
You know what? I don't have an exact reason for that, but obviously it's become a very interesting subject and a subject that's been very important to Houstonians of let's try to get equal pay for men and for men and women. So it could be just that it's been an important issue in Houston, and the leadership in Houston has done a tremendous job of saying let's do what we can do to narrow that pay gap. And people working at these companies said we see what's going on in this world. We want to have equal pay for women to men.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any tips for job seekers? Obviously, in this case, women in particular, when they're going to look for a position to make sure that they're getting fairly compensated?
I think the first thing anybody should do, specifically a woman, when they're looking for a job, see how many women are in leadership. You know, we're very excited at JW Michaels. We actually have more women in leadership than men. And people always ask me, why is that? I said, well, we just hired the best person the market has to offer. And a lot of times that's women. So I think the first thing you want to do when you're looking for a job is how many women are in leadership. Then when you're going through the interviewing process, talk about how do they handle maternity leave? Are they supportive? Did you feel comfortable that the company was willing to create an environment where you could enjoy being a mother, bringing up a family, but also could enjoy your career as a professional and growing at that organization as well? So it's really important to do your due diligence during the interviewing process and speak to other women in leadership in that organization to see how they handle those situations as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be a little bit confusing because every job doesn't have just one pay rate. It's like a range. So then you're saying, okay, so on the bottom, is it because, they're getting paid less for less experience, or in this case, just because they're a woman? I mean, it's like, how would you even begin to unwrap that, to find the truth?
Well, I think the one way that's pretty transparent is if you see there's no women in leadership or women have left the organization, there's usually a reason behind that. If people are treated fairly and getting paid fairly, they generally stay. But if people are leaving, there's generally a reason behind that. And then it becomes the job seeker to figure out why that might be happening. And if a company is paying anybody more based upon their skin color or their gender, then there's a major problem there.
Yeah, and those red flags, folks will see them. And then there's recruiters like you there to help out with the process. Really appreciate your time, Jason. Have a great day.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.